two of our favorite burglars, the Wet Bandits.
True that.
But do you know who my absolute favorite burglar is?
Harry.
Bilbo Baggins.
Oh, straight out of left field with that one.
Talking about the Hobbit. Rankin and Bass, the Hobbit.
Right. Not just any Hobbit.
No.
The original Hobbit.
Not the Peter Jackson's
the source material. Where all other Hobbits arose from.
And so, tomorrow begins your greatest adventure.
No, I'm just kidding. He wrote the book first.
He wrote the book first.
I don't want to confuse anybody.
And Rankin and Bass were huge fans of the book, so much so that they created a treatment for it and came up with a script.
Rankin and Bass.
Rankin and Bass.
What is that?
These guys did the Christmas special. So we're talking Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey.
You've seen them, folks.
Yeah.
You've seen them on ABC.
Frosty the Snowman.
Right.
All of their
claymation,
animation.
your favorite claymation movies.
Yeah, these are basically staples
season.
of Christmas. And these guys went on to make The Hobbit. All of their animation was done overseas. They sent it over to Japan. It was a number of Japanese animation companies that worked with Rankin and Bass to make the stop motion stuff and the 2D stuff. The company they worked with on The Hobbit, though, was Topcraft Animation.
Topcraft out of Japan.
Yeah, and these guys would eventually go on to be bankrupt, and the crew that worked here would either split off to continue working with Rankin and Bass to make the show Thundercats.
Right, another one.
Never watched that one, but it was pretty popular back in the day.
Yeah.
The other part of the crew,
ones, on the other hand,
went on to make Studio Ghibli. There we go, yeah.
Hayao Miyazaki.
First film they made in 1985, The Castle in the Sky, and the rest is history.
So this is an interesting history here.
Yeah.
If you have seen the Hobbit movie, this 70s. Now, what year is that?
1977, I believe. 77? Yeah.
Interestingly, also 77 minutes. So there's a lot of sevens going on here.
Yeah.
But this is a very unique film. When did you first see this movie?
I saw this movie on the Disney Channel when I was probably 11 years old. I do remember it distinctly because it made an impression on me. I loved it. The first time that I saw it, it may have been my introduction to fantasy as a genre, and it was so much fun. It also felt like a darker story. It's got some darker elements to it. Characters die. You've got this character Gollum who is a lot more sinister than he is in the Peter Jackson movies.
Yes,
you know, and
he's kind of frog-like. He kind of looks like a frog in this one.
And he's got these, he's got the pale eyes.
Yeah.
Gollum is really sinister in this movie. The goblins in particular, too, I remember being really scary.
Yes.
I just remember loving it from start to finish, though. And I think a large part of the reason is that it's just this quick moving story. It doesn't belabor anything. It's got a bunch of fun songs in the middle of it. It's 77 minutes long, you said?
Breezy.
Yeah. And this movie feels like a complete story. You read The Hobbit. Now, the Tolkien estate wouldn't agree with this. They basically hated any adaptations. They did not believe that Tolkien's universe was really meant to be transferred to film, but they reluctantly signed off on those rights back in 1969 for like a pittance, essentially.
Yeah.
And United Artists took hold of it, and then it ended up becoming a film franchise from there. So, yeah.
I love the movie personally. I just think it's such a delight, and it's beautiful to look at. I feel like it's from a bygone era, and it's very... I don't actually know the illustration and the animation styles, but it looks very watercolory to me. It really exudes, this was painted by hand, cell by cell. And you just don't see that type of hand craftsmanship anymore. And it's incredibly difficult to do, but it's just so beautiful in its way.
Yeah, I love the look of the animation in this movie. You get so many fantastical scenes. The Shire looks beautiful. It's just very green, picturesque. There's a scene where Bilbo's going through Mirkwood Forest and he pops up and sees a bunch of butterflies above the canopy. I don't know. It really manages to capture every environment. And the film goes through some dark environments too. They're going through caves. They get to the elves. Mirkwood Forest is just super shady. And then you find finally get to the Lonely Mountain, and you've got Smaug there at the Lonely Mountain.
Yes.
And this guy is just so sinister.
Smaug's voice is so good, too.
Richard Boone is the guy that played Smaug. I guess it's technically supposed to be pronounced Smaug.
Okay.
I can't stop pronouncing it Smaug.
Oh, Smog, the chiefest and greatest of calamities.
First of all, I must say that this film truly feels like it is in very caring hands. And Rankin and Bass are clearly a couple of Tolkien nerds, because I think in order to get this film and that story down to this concise, breezy 77 minutes, you really have to understand what's at the heart of the story. You have to understand what's crucial to the story and important to the journey, and what can be left out.
Yeah, you're a fan of the book. You want to see specific scenes depicted in the movie, and they knew which scenes to leave out. No set piece in this movie overstays its welcome.
Right.
And then the entire thing is just sprinkled with some amazing songs, most of which were written by Tolkien himself. You know, they're actually in the book The Hobbit.
Yes, right.
The only song that isn't is The Greatest Adventure, which is the intro song, and it's also kind of Bilbo's theme throughout the entire thing. It pops up every once in a while. And the film also just gives Bilbo this arc. Like, anytime Bilbo is growing, he starts out as this sort of, not a cowardly character, but comfortable in his life. And he wants to stay in the Shire. He doesn't want to go on an adventure with Gandalf.
Right.
And Gandalf pulls him into this. And over the course of the film, he learns to enjoy the adventure. He takes confidence from it. And there's some really scary moments in it. But you watch him grow, particularly when he gets the ring. And he's able to turn invisible. And it gives him this strength. He can like now fight off giant spiders. And,
exactly, yes. And it really works too, because the Bilbo that we're introduced to in this movie, in my opinion, is such a sweetie. Like, he's just so small and very slight and very demure.
Yeah.
And he's curious and he's humble, and he's always like, whatever are rules? And then he gets Sting, right? That's his little dagger,
Yes.
right? And he's like dancing it around in the air, and he's like, take that, Smaug, you filthy worm. And it's like, oh, honey, you are just so screwed. So it's a long adventure, and we're having fun, and Bilbo's learning about himself and so forth. But spoiler alert, it kind of takes a turn.
Yeah.
In the last act.
Gets a little dark towards the end. It's a little dark in Gollum's cave too, but I feel
It's
like
threatening in Gollum's cave.
I feel like once you get to Smaug though, then it really starts to take a turn. You have this conversation with Bilbo and Smaug, and I remember really enjoying this conversation between the two. So you're seeing Bilbo basically at the end of his journey. He's at the height of his power.
Yes.
You know, like he's refused the call to action, and then he was dragged into it, and then he had to grow. And
he's getting pretty big for his britches.
Yeah,
too.
and then he loses Gandalf halfway through the journey because Gandalf's got to go somewhere else, deal with a necromancer. Spoiler
Gandalf,
alert.
Right.
There
Gandalf.
he is.
What a by the way. He's like, come with me.
Yeah, come with me on this adventure.
You little ragamuffin.
All right,
and
now
then
you're
he's
on
like,
your
I
own.
gotta split.
Take care of these dwarves for me, will ya?
yeah.
And then they get to Smaug's cavern, and none of the dwarves want to go in. They're like, Bilbo, you're the burglar. We hired you for this. Go in there, steal some of the dragon's gold. And Bilbo does it, and he puts on the ring. And I love this conversation between him and Smaug, because Smaug is just toying with him. He knows that if he wants to kill whatever just broke into his cave, he can. He seems like he's been a little bored, though.
Right.
Over the last few years, he's thirsty for conversation.
Yeah. He's an intellectual.
Yeah. And he starts talking with Bilbo about who he is, and Bilbo starts spinning riddles.
I am the lucky number, the web cutter, the spider stinger.
Lovely title.
I am he that drowns his friends and draws them alive again from the water.
He's creating legends about himself in front of this grand dragon. And he has that confidence because he's got a ring that makes him invisible. And Smaug can't see him. And this conversation between what seems like two equals is very interesting.
Yes.
And then it ends on a pretty dark note when Bilbo reveals himself, steals the cup. That's a callback to Beowulf, by the way. Tolkien was a huge fan of Beowulf. And then
classic.
He translated it also.
Wow.
He loved it so much he translated it. And then Bilbo leaves the cave, and Smaug then decimates the town of Dale.
Right. And that's messed up.
Yeah. And then eventually
He's like, okay, enough farting around.
Yeah, I'm gonna
gotta
kill some people.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smaug gets taken down, and then the film takes an even darker turn. Now we're going to war.
Right. This gets kind of psychedelic.
It
as I
does.
recall. It's sort of like, it's very like watercolor montage-y.
I remember what it looked like to me was like football schematics from overhead. You have X's and O's and things moving or whatever.
Right.
Battle of the Five Armies, though. It takes a dark turn. You get the elves, the humans, the dwarves. They're all fighting over Smaug's gold. The other two armies are the goblins and the eagles. And they're all fighting over Smaug's gold because he's been sitting on this hoard of gold for a number of years.
Yeah.
And most of Bilbo's friends die in this battle of five armies. And I remember taking...
the casualty list is grim.
Yeah, you spend this movie getting to know these dwarves pretty well. Like, they're fun characters. They don't have distinct personalities. A few of them do. But it felt like a big loss at the end of this battle when you lose most of the dwarves. And Bilbo...
Yeah, it's a real melancholic tone at this point.
And there's a scene in the tent where Bilbo is saying goodbye to Thorin Oakenshield, who is saying, I got a little too overcome with greed, and I'm sorry I said the things I said to you. I don't know. These are pretty adult themes for a kid's film. And I kind of like... I sort of miss this era where you had these dark themes where you could have characters die in the way that they do in The Hobbit. I don't see that so much in kids' films these days.
Do you watch a lot of kids' films these days? I ask that seriously because I don't actually know. I feel like I agree with you, but I don't want to get into this sort of like old codger mentality. Oh, back when we were kids. I don't know.
I think what I'm going to do is just adopt the old codger mentality. Not watch the new kids' films. But say I disdain them either way. Okay?
Well, it's a tried and true tradition.